Okay, gonna keep the intro short again. This is Mark, and this is skits I wrote about 25 to 30 years ago for a college age group. These sketches are
Oh
videotaped
man, am
and
I
they're full of
ever a
Christian
victim
stuff. You can
of
find them on
nature?
a
Every day I wake
YouTube
up and it's
channel
fly
known
over
as CCF
here,
90s Skits
fly over there,
Nostalgia.
get
You can
swatted
go there
at,
and
or
watch them
maybe get eaten
unedited
by
if you like.
36,000
Be warned, there's
species.
a lot of
It's
just
so bad.
again cringe on this,
I
and I
have to
have to admit,
fire
while I
all these
was
gross things
editing
just
the
to keep all the
subtitles
predators
on this,
away.
which I have to
Oh
do,
man, what a stupid life.
I there are certain
I
parts about
hate
this
being
sketch
a
I
fly.
like, and there's
What?
a lot that I don't
Oh.
like about this thing. And I think part of it is a lot
Hey
of
guys, look, looks like we got a new
how do I
one.
explain this?
Hit it.
The basic premise of this sketch is
Bless
that
my soul. So
these main
can
characters
it
are
be?
bugs,
It's another
and
lie that's
they are
trapping
trapped
me.
in this web
What do you think? Now
because of
just
certain
stuck
bad
in this
habits they
web.
have.
You're
As you know,
all
the
tied
sketch is
up.
titled Habits That Bug Us. Well, maybe you don't know it, now you do.
Yeah,
But
you're all tied up.
I have to admit,
Welcome to the
this
World
has
Wide
certain
Web.
wrong impressions about
But the only thing
certain
being downloaded
habits.
here is you.
And as I was watching
As
this thing, or as
dinner
I was
for us
looking over this
neither.
thing,
What?
um,
Oh man, let me out of
I've
here.
noticed that
Hello,
during this
McFly.
time, in the Christian community,
Hello,
or the
anyone here?
Christian community, I don't know why
Think
I'm having a
this
hard
is a
time saying
world of
that,
bad
or at
habits.
least the
The
church
spider
I
caught you
went to,
complaining too much.
I don't
there was a
complain
lot of
too much.
complaints about
It's
something known
just
as a victim
ingrained in my
mentality,
nature as a fly.
which is essentially this
Always
idea that a lot of people who
in
are
fear. How
oppressed
did you get
groups,
here?
About
they
me,
just really
I was
didn't like
caught
what they were saying.
gossiping.
And
Hey, want to hear
basically,
the latest
instead
buzz?
of saying, like,
Oh,
okay, how
give
can
it an
society
apple
change
to
to
be. You don't
help
want to
you
be like him,
integrate, or
fly.
maybe not integrate, but at
Honey,
least
you want to
just
be like
accept you for who
me.
you are,
I'm
a lot
just
of times they were saying, like,
lazy,
okay,
lazy.
how can you
Oh
change
yeah,
as a
I'm a
minority to fit
lazy
in with
bug.
us? Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
essentially
yeah.
asking, like, hey, how are
Lazy,
you going to
lazy.
really revolutionize society?
Oh
Which is a really
yeah,
hard
I'm a
thing to put
lazy
on
bug.
anyone.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
here's
yeah.
the
I'm a
deal.
lazy
The main
bug.
character of this thing, who's that fly, we
It's
really
okay,
have to go
fly.
out of
You'll
our
get
way to
used
make sure
to
that this
it.
character is not a victim.
And besides,
But I don't really think
Ida,
that's
she
necessarily
feeds us
true. I know a
really
lot of good
nice.
people that have
Ladybug
suffered
man, she's
very
trying to fatten you
unjustly.
up.
And
Why
a
don't
lot
you
of
get off
it
your
is
abdomen and help us
the
escape?
results of bad habits. And here's my opinion on
Eventually
this
we'll escape.
before. Bad habits won't
Until
get
then,
you in the web,
I'll die with
or I'm
dignity.
sorry,
Oh
maybe,
yeah, no help.
actually they kind of do.
Hey, maybe that other
You're
guy
going to end
can
up in a
help.
web at some point in
Wait
your
a minute, I
life.
think I know him.
I'm just going to say
Excuse
that
me,
right
sir.
now. I
Excuse me.
mean, it
Are
might
you
be
one of
because
the
of poverty. It might
beetles?
be because of, I don't know,
Yes, I
something is going to
am.
get you in
I'm
that
one of the
web, and
Beatles.
you're going to feel
I
super
want to be a
helpless.
pet.
The bad habits may not get
I'm
you
one
into
of
the
your
web, but
biggest
they
fans.
might keep
We're
you
older
there.
brothers.
For
Not really
example,
sure.
this one
Well,
guy
you know what I
here
heard? I heard
who's a
Frank got
beetle,
hit by a
and of course, yeah,
windshield.
he's clearly
And
acting like
Bob,
one of the
oh, he took a
Beatles,
nap in a Venus
the
flytrap.
'60s a rock
Oh, and
band.
Julio, well, he
Yeah,
checked into a
apparently his
hotel and
habit is
he never
depression.
checked out.
The fact that I call
Rumble
this
the bee.
Love doing it.
uh, the fact that I call
You need
this
to
his
quit
habit of
spreading so much
depression
bad
a habit
pollen. You need
is
to keep
not what we know
get your own
depression is
beeswax.
now. We know it is
Yep,
not just a
it's
bad
obvious.
habit.
They'll
It
get
is
you
a
every
mental
time,
case.
one
It
way or
can be
another.
treated. It is something that we know
As for
about
me,
here.
well, my
There
bad
are a
habit's
lot of
depression.
biological things that
And the only
factor
reason the
into some of the
spider keeps
things
me hanging
that we deal
around
with on a
is
daily
because she loves
basis.
my singing.
And
I'm
when it
stuck
comes
here,
to
yeah,
Christian
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
they
I'm
tend to
stuck
just
here,
assume
yeah,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
volition
I'm
and it's
stuck in a
all
web
choice.
and
And
I
if you
know
get
it's
in
really
any problems,
bad.
it
And I'm
is
stuck
all your
here,
fault
that's why I'm
somehow.
really
This is making the problem
sad.
worse.
I'm
And
sad.
so
Oh
I
man,
have to
we
admit,
have to get out of
for
here.
that reason, I don't really like this sketch.
Maybe
And I
we
want
can
to talk about
plan.
how this idea came. This idea came from
What do you have in
our
mind?
props guy,
I don't know.
who
Maybe we
actually
could make do
he
a
was
raid.
he was looking at all the sketches, and he noticed that a lot of the sketches had sort of human characters. And he thought,
Not
what
that
if we
kind
did
of
a sketch
raid.
that
I
was
was thinking of a
completely
joint
where
effort to escape.
there weren't human. It was like it was bugs or something like that. And
Well,
this was
it'll
before A
never
Bug's Life
work.
had been released.
Because the more we
At least
try
I think
to
it was.
get out of ourselves, the
Um,
more tangled up
but I
we
just kind of felt
get.
like, and before Ants had been released, I think they were released
I
the same
know.
year,
We
and
need
that's always a
someone
big
from the
controversy.
outside to help us.
But I kind of like the idea of that, and so I came up with this idea of how habits will get you in the spider web, and somebody made that spider web behind them, and they did a really good job making it there. And yeah, I like Praying Mantis Man, especially his little. I think the audience loves him too because he looks like these little things he's doing makes him look like a praying mantis, and I think that's what really makes this work. But I like the idea of essentially that somebody from the outside needs to come and help you because sometimes that needs to happen. Now, if you want to use God for that, I think you could. I mean, I'm gonna say maybe God works through someone else who helps you out because I've had some problems where somebody has come in and has helped me out, but still you have to do you have to do something on your own part. And I have to admit, I like the fact that these characters do that. There's a scene here where the spider shows up and tries to get him back in the web, and they choose not to go back. And I like how they do this, where this spider kind of has this lasso.
That bad habit queen up.
And yeah, and I kind of like this idea that they turn this around. They basically turn the web upon itself, and I think the audience really like this too. I think that actually is a good moral. I will say that I like the message of this. And yeah, for some reason this has songs, and I remember this was kind of a challenge because we knew this sketch was going to be we had like a conference going on, and this was a skit during it. So when we were selecting songs, we had to find songs that I think everybody knew. And so I selected one by Elvis, the Beatles, Louie Louie, because everyone I think knows Louie Louie. And so when it came down to this, I basically just said, okay, You've Lost That Love and Feeling. Everybody knows that song. So I just, if you haven't, then you haven't seen Top Gun or something like that. So yeah, so all in all, there's some good and bad in this, and I've explained what I like and don't like about them. Maybe you like it. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's pretty. I don't know.